Oh my God, it's a Christmas miracle in August. We are all here. Welcome to Cheap Heat Live on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, Sirius XM channel 156. I'm your forever 24/7 champion, Peter Rosenberg. I'm being joined from Philadelphia by the physically large stat guy, Greg. Hey, SUG.
That's right. Home of this past week's Monday Night Raw and NXT.
That's right. Were you at either?
No, I watched from home. I feel like I have the best seats in the house at my house these days.
I get it. It's
So
called it's called being old and washed, bro. We've all been there.
We get in there.
We are. You're really
I'm
getting
there.
there. I'm there.
Dip is getting there.
No, you're not there. You have 2 weeks till you're fully there. And in Los Angeles, we have 38 at 35. Diperstein. Hey, Dip.
How do you not? Hi. How do you not go to Raw if it's in Philly? What's going on? Don't you love wrestling and think it's great?
I do love wrestling. I do think it's great. But
did you consider either, SUG? Did you consider either?
Not for a second.
Wow. No. Wow.
Great shows. Highly entertaining. There's some of the best shows on TV right now, but also dealing with getting in and then getting out and then getting home.
It was enough.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, listen, we have a lot of things to talk about that happened there and some things that are happening about in the future. Also coming up later on this program, later in the hour, we will have one of my favorite young superstars from Evolve. I want to start introducing the audience because I'm going to be honest, Evolve to me is as fun an hour as there is in pro wrestling. I don't think it's getting, I may be slightly biased, but I do not think it's getting the love and attention it deserves from most of the people who cover wrestling and talk about it. So I want to start bringing on some of the talent and introducing the people. So today we're going to have young Kendall Gray on the program, as my wife just threw up the swipe right gesture. Soon, babe. We're going to get swipe right soon. Well,
that answered my question. That answered my next question, because I was going to say, is the Vanity Project banned as you make this effort to talk to as many Evolve talents as you can?
Well, listen,
are they on the blacklist?
I don't want to spoil. I like to live in kayfabe. But let me just say, it is possible that someone from the Vanity Project came to my home this week and helped us with furniture.
Wow. Sounds like a great guy or girl.
You think it was Ada Steele?
I just don't want to leave her out, Listen, help is a vague phrase. It could be that she said, put it over there. It looks better here. Did none of the heavy lifting.
True.
But that could be help.
By the way, kind of like she does with the Vanity Project week to week. She's not always doing the heavy lifting.
No.
In fact, she's usually losing, if we're being honest.
But somebody needs that eye for detail and bringing things together.
All right, so before we get to any of that, and I think, guys, before we even get to the meat and potatoes of what happened this week, I want to start with some of the news of the week, which is WrestlePalooza. I know we're late to it, and if you've been listening to the channel all week long, I'm sure you've heard many people talk about it, but we haven't been on the air yet. So here we are. WrestlePalooza, September 20th. It is the first WWE PLE on ESPN, and we did not expect it to happen at this point. And guys, I didn't realize until a couple days ago that this was it. Like, once we hit WrestlePalooza, we've left Peacock. We are on to the ESPN situation. But that is it. We are now there. This is officially the beginning. We will not see any PLEs on Peacock moving forward. I got to say, SUG, if I had been a betting man, I would not have predicted that the first PLE on ESPN would be WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, I would have taken that same exact bet. I would not have bet that the first PLE we saw would be WrestlePalooza on September 20th, right? Because that's the detail. Sure, maybe WrestlePalooza sometime next year, January, whatever. They roll out the red carpet. No, they're getting right to it. Like you said, September 20th, WrestlePalooza from Indianapolis.
I'm very curious. I assume we don't know that it's going to be the John Cena Brock Lesnar dip, but that seems to be what everybody thinks it's going to be. I know that you had you heard any sort of rumblings? Do you know anything of what's going on here? I mean, like, what's happening September 20th, besides the fact that I'm going to get some delicious shrimp cocktail? That's the only thing I know. I know Pat McAfee will be on the show. It'll be the first time we've seen Pat McAfee on a show in a very long time, because it's Indy, so it's a given. And I know I'm going to get shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's Steakhouse that night. Besides that dip, I have no idea what to expect.
Tell me more about the shrimp cocktail that you're anticipating, because I've been sampling shrimp cocktail around the country for 38 years. So it's a definitive order. It's if it's there, it's being ordered, and it's fun to talk with your friends or whoever you're with about how much each shrimp individually costs based on the price of the shrimp cocktail.
Let me ask you a question. How long is the flight from Los Angeles to Indianapolis? 4?
Yeah, probably 4 hours. I don't know. I've never been to Indianapolis.
I think. Well, I mean, listen. You didn't go to see Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid?
No, I wish. I wish I was there.
Well, listen. You're not. I don't know how much. No, listen. Indianapolis is a good town when it comes to events, and it's a great town when it comes to St. Elmo's Steakhouse. This is the #1 shrimp cocktail on planet Earth. There's not a better shrimp cocktail.
Wow.
I'll be the judge of that shrimp cocktail.
But by the way, respectfully, I don't think you can even judge, because I don't know that you can. I don't think you'll handle the sauce.
What do you mean? I love spicy. Is it too spicy?
It's not spicy. It's hot.
It's what? Okay. The sauce is hot in temperature?
No. Get
out of here.
Think wasabi.
Okay.
You know what wasabi does to you?
Yes, the nose, the nasal cavity.
You know the nose feeling I'm talking about?
Yes.
It is the #1 nose feeling in all of food today.
It is? It's on the Mount Rushmore of shrimp cocktail nose feeling sauce?
I text,
or any sauce.
Text a very high-level wrestling executive that you and I are friends with who was at your birthday party, and ask this person about the nose feeling of the cocktail sauce, because I went for the first time with him. It is bed, bath, and but it's an event. This is what's great about the cocktail, is that the steaks at St. Elmo's Steakhouse are slamming. And, like, it's most famous, this place is most famous, is that, like, during the NFL Combine, like, the real action of the Combine is happening at St. Elmo's Steakhouse, because everyone's there every night for dinner. It's the place.
Just draining the seas of shrimp.
Seriously.
There's no more shrimp in Indianapolis after the Combine. Let me ask you a question. How many shrimp come in the shrimp cocktail? And then we can get off the topic. I have to know. It all depends. If it's 4, it's not enough. If it's 5, it's good. If it's 6, now we're having a conversation. You don't remember, do you?
I think it's 4. I'm going to look at the
4.
menu.
So what is it, like $28? It's $7 a shrimp?
You can't have this. This is supposed to be the shrimp cocktail conversation. You're supposed to have it at the table, Dip.
$3.50 a bite?
All right, it's 4 jumbo shrimp.
You can't bait him if you tell him.
It's
4 jumbo shrimp.
First of all, first of all, St. Elmo's Steakhouse. The shrimp cocktail has been served there since 1902. Okay, I need you to know we're talking about 123 years.
I didn't know Americans were eating
murder.
shrimp. I did not know Americans were eting shrimp in 1902. I didn't know that was the thing.
You know the latest American or American adjacent to partake in that shrimp that I know of a fact? I saw a picture posted by Mr. Bronson Reed there yesterday doing promo, stopping to get the shrimp. He got last night. He got 4 jumbo shrimp served with our spicy signature cocktail sauce, and that'll cost you just $19.95. $5 per shrimp.
$5 a shrimp with tax.
Yeah, but you got to order. I think you got to order 2 orders. You got to order 2 orders. You got to have 2 orders for the table.
Well, 4 shrimp is a required 2-order shrimp cocktail thing. If you get 5, you could do 1 order, and then you shoot for the 5th shrimp.
Right, or if there's someone, if you're sitting with me, someone who's very passionate about the shrimp, you go, Peter, please have the shrimp for God's sake. We know how you feel.
I would give you the shrimp, Greg. I have no idea what I would do. I may eat the shrimp.
No, I don't. I'm allergic, so it's all you.
Oh,
Kelly Murphy, the Healthinator, they would get the 5th shrimp for sure.
Well, look at you. Very, very generous. Anyways, so I'll be in Indy to have the shrimp. But besides that, guys, I have zero idea of what to expect from this show. And I do feel like it's kind of an interesting spot. so much is being made of the move to ESPN because as much as we talked about how big Netflix would be for wrestling, Raw on Netflix is one type of exciting. PLEs, SummerSlam, WrestleMania being on ESPN platforms, guys, when it comes to grabbing potentially lapsed fans, it's a huge deal. And especially if they decide to, and I'm hearing bantied. It's being bantied about. I'm hearing the bantying. If they air an hour, 2 hours, the entire PLE on linear ESPN, guys, imagine WrestleMania just airing on ESPN television.
Listen, ESPN with this deal, if they put these shows, these PLEs on linear ESPN television, it's basically, the way I view it as a wrestling fan, ESPN just got the Super Bowl and 11 All-Star games just ready to go right there on cable to their subscribers.
And I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do what you just said because I think but the point of this is to get people on the new ESPN app, to get the direct-to-consumer ESPN.
Right.
So they're not going to, but they could do some. They could hit you with some. They could say, hey, we're going to put from 8 to 10. Let's say, when does it go live? WrestleMania this year will go, 7 o'clock Eastern time it'll go live? From 7 to 9 Eastern, WrestleMania on ESPN. So everyone watching their television, whenever whatever sports is on that day ends, all of a sudden you're watching WrestleMania, and then at 9 o'clock it's over, you go, oh, there's still 2 more hours. I'm going to go to the app now and watch. So it's just a really dip. It's a potentially very exciting opportunity. What are your teas?
Look, anybody that gets more access to wrestling, if the world gets more access to wrestling than they previously had, I think this is really all. I was saying this to somebody yesterday. It's at the end of the day, we talk about there's a million sponsors and they're everywhere now, and it's but at the end of the day, the idea that wrestling is on the precipice of being, if not more relevant, or just as relevant as the major sports, is kind of like what we always dreamed of and always what we always wanted, Yeah.
So it's been a weird week for me in that a week and a half, whatever the order was when we found out it was happening. At first, I really processed it as not a big thing, relative to my life, being completely selfish here. Yes, I work at ESPN. Yes, I work at WWE. Yes, for a long time I've been the through line. Longer than anyone else, I've been the through line of those 2 places. But I didn't see, I'm like, is this good? Do I like my sports and my wrestling in the same place? Yes, I love you know what it's like? It's like getting a steak. It's like getting a sirloin at the strip club. And they'll tell you, oh, Penthouse or Hustler, they have the best sirloin steak. You got to have the steak there. And I don't know if I want to have my sirloin while I'm enjoying what's happening at Hustler Club. These are 2 very different interests of mine. Do I want them in the same location? It's sort of the same way for me. I'm like, do I want my sports and my sports entertainment all in the same place? But as the week has played out, and I'm seeing Seth Rollins pop up on Get Up, and CM Punk is on First Take, and I am like, well, this just has to be good for business. And then I realized, wait a second, if they're going to be doing all this stuff on ESPN TV, this could not only be good for business, this could be good for Peter Rosenberg business.
Oh yeah.
So I'm starting to like this. I'm enjoying. Do you guys remember when we had a wrestling podcast at ESPN, but they were no longer interested? And we went gallivanting around before we found ourselves in the new serious era that we're in right now. So for me, it's just cool to see ESPN embracing it, because with different leadership, there were past leaders who are no longer there who were very anti. And, and Dip will remember, I was having an uphill battle to try to do more wrestling there, but there wasn't a big interest, and now there is.
Yeah, and they've come a long way since Spike TV and TNN. I can tell you that right now. So if
Monday Night Raw on. By the way, I think the TNN era was kind of Mage, but yeah,
it was.
But it's a long
Nashville network.
That was a long, long time ago, man. That is, it's so true. So we wanted to cover that part. Obviously, Clash in Paris is next week, and then 3 weeks later we'll turn around and have WrestlePalooza, and then somehow between now and then we'll have another AAA related show. There's another Worlds Collide, right?
Yes, there is. Headlined by Dominic Mysterio and Vikingo for the Mega Championship.
Which there's so much interesting stuff going on right now that you just like wouldn't have predicted a year or two ago. There's just a lot happening in the world. So we're going to get to all of the things that happened on television this week, including the future of Naomi is now revealed. We got to discuss what's going to happen in the women's division. There's rampant rumors about Chris Jericho. I do think it's fun to discuss if and when the inevitable Jericho back to WWE is going to happen. Like, that has been, we all know, no matter what you feel about Jericho, and believe me, speaking from personal experience, I can tell you, it's mixed feelings. But the man is coming back one day and going into the Hall of Fame, right? He is a no question about it all-timer. So that's an interesting thing to discuss as well.
Love the man.
There's a lot of different things to get to, plus Kendall Gray from Evolve. I'm excited to introduce you guys to her as well. But I will say this about WrestlePalooza, okay? Mm-hmm. WrestlePalooza is a big deal because of like the industry implications. It's not going to be some crazy traveled to show. I recommend it.
Yeah.
This is one you're like, you know what? It's not SummerSlam. People didn't have time to plan around this. It's going to be a local, regular, small market PLE. This is a great one to go to.
It sounds like a wrestling bar mitzvah is what it sounds like. WrestlePalooza. Little Jakey's 13. Come to WrestlePalooza. It sounds like my bar mitzvah.
By the way, it sounds like
Rosenberg's 25.
I was about to say it sounds like my birthday concert. Well, until I was almost 40.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm telling you, if you can catch a cheap flight, this is going to be like, you already know what Vegas is going to be from a financial standpoint and all those things, complications. Indy for just a quick, you know what I'm saying, guys? This is a fun one to just like last minute try to hit, because there aren't a lot of, I always lament, there are not a lot of like small market PLEs anymore. I mean, think about it. The one this month that would be some American market PLE is in Paris. October might be one. That's Perth. November, you're back in San Diego. There just aren't a lot. January is in Riyadh.
Riyadh, yeah.
Not your typical Royal Rumble location. So, yeah, I think when these ones pop up, I always tell Dip, I always tell them to come, like, hey, you should come hang this weekend, because it's nice to go to one without all the hoopla around it. And as we see things change more and more, there's just going to be less and less of them. So,
but more hoopla. It's going to hoopla is not ending. There's no, hoopla is only getting bigger. We're in a different level of hoopla now at this point.
We've never seen. In fact, like when can the hoopla peak, and there can be no more hoopla?
I don't know if there's a ceiling on the hoopla, right? I can't predict a hoopla ceiling at this point.
That's been the number one question this week of like, how much bigger can it get, right? Because the Netflix deal was January. We thought that was the peak, and that we wouldn't see a higher. There wouldn't be another level to hit for a while, and then before the year ends, they're at ESPN.
That's a great point. Like, I wouldn't have been thinking about. No one was even paying attention to the Peacock deal coming up.
No.
By the way, sorry. Oh, this is gonna be such. By the way, warning. I'm about to pull a major heel dick move here. Oh my God! All the incredible journalists that were all the post-show press conferences. None of you asked what's going to happen when Peacock is up. It was never SGG. We had so much media there to ask all of the big questions, and no one said, what are you guys going to do post-Peacock?
Yeah, I mean, look, these aren't the people that break the news, unfortunately for them, right? They didn't see the Netflix deal. They didn't see this ESPN deal. come in. They didn't, these are the people who said WWE might be getting sold to Saudi when the TKO,
I forgot. They went crazy with that one. All right, no, SGG, let's not get me in more trouble. Let's wrap it up. Right. Sorry, I took my shot. I'm just saying we all, myself included, we collectively forgot that the Peacock deal was coming up, and now all of a sudden
I assumed it was going Netflix. I assumed we were just going to go to Netflix with everything else, and we were gonna get the same kind of deal they have internationally, where they have just a one-stop shop for all things WWE.
By the way, Dip has a very important phone call to make right now. Because remember, this gig is Dip's this is his hobby. This man is a mover and a shaker. But I have brought in a backup co-host who I really think can hold things down here. What are your thoughts, SGG?
As we were saying earlier, she's major. I mean, if you're watching on video, the video just got upgraded by a whole lot. No offense to Dip.
MJ, do you have anything to say to the people, the peckerheads out there on Sirius XM? What do you say? Okay. Just kick your legs. That's like makes great radio.
It's perfect that you brought her on for this segment, though, because you alluded to it earlier, I believe. But we do have to talk about babies on the way.
Oh, Naomi that's a
big announcement.
It's great
on Raw.
Yeah.
People were speculating about what it was. It's possibly the worst kept secret in wrrestling.
Yes, but it was certainly out there.
She did make it official. She announced that she is expecting, and she's going to be away for a while.
I loved that segment. I could see people having mixed feelings on it because it certainly was playing some games with character and storyline. Mm-hmm. But what I loved is, and she's done this a few times during this big heel run of when something emotional happens where she snaps back into character and you can see that she's fighting it. I just find it completely charming. I mean, I know she was sort of breaking a bit, but I loved watching her sort of fight the tears back in the moment, but then snapping back into yelling at people. I just thought it was awesome. And what is that?
I think she agrees.
She has nothing. You're not offering. This sounds like when Dip and SGG were talking over each other last week. But no, it sounds, really
sounds better.
I'm so happy for them. Naomi is literally about as good a person as exists in WWE. So I'm just extremely, extremely happy for both of them. SGG. So this Clash in Paris card, though, let's talk about this right now. You have John Cena and Logan Paul, as we've talked about. So we don't need to really spend a lot of time there. We kind of know what that was, right? It didn't seem like Logan Paul was going to be next. It seems like a bit of a pivot situation. But guess what? It's going to be very entertaining. Do we have? We'll have both of them tonight, right? They should both be in.
I believe so.
I believe
actually, they're both going to be.
Yeah, either depending on when you're listening to the show. If you're listening live right now at 12:33, I'm guessing that show gets started in 3 hours. Or no, 2 hours. Yeah, in 2 hours. So I'm guessing we'll have both of them tonight, and hopefully we'll have a fun setup. I mean, listen, my weird feelings about how Cena got to being babyface Cena are not going to go away overnight, SGG. I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, this is dope. But at the same time, I think when we're in the moment and the music hits and we get to watch him do the greatest hits now, we're still going to be able to enjoy it simply for the fact, even if we don't like the execution, simply for the fact that we were deprived of it for the first several months of his return. So now, when you see him versus Logan, even if you're one of the fans, and I understand this, who's annoyed about how we got there, you're going to be like, hey, little babyface John Cena, haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, and that's the magic of where Cena is right now, is that as poorly executed as I think the babyface run was, this is what people wanted. They wanted John Cena as a good guy so they could throw flowers at his feet for this whole year. And like you said, we didn't get it, but people are going to be so hyped to do it, especially once they hit that entrance, which I think is Mage. And I hope he keeps it, the whole never seen 17 gracing this place with his appearance for the last time. Keep it all and let people soak it in. I think people they're going to cheer for him. We here.
Sheamus and Rusev, I love everything about these guys in the ring together. Donnybrook match, that's going to be fun. What does Donnybrook match mean? It depends, but we're going to love it. Now, the next two are the ones that I think SGG are, frankly, the most interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth, Punk, Uso, LA Knight. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're getting marquee people in there. I am surprised by this match, though. I didn't expect us to come out of SummerSlam and land on a title match for LA Knight. Again, even though LA Knight has his gripe, obviously, with Seth Rollins, and that part makes sense. Not only that, he has a win over Seth Rollins because of the way things played out. I get all that, SGG. But I am sort of surprised. I got to tell you, I'm surprised Jey Uso's in a title match as well.
Why does Jay? I know why LA Knight surprised you, because it wasn't you, it wasn't me, but somebody on this co-host was very emphatic about the fact that LA Knight would be nowhere in Seth's orbit.
Oh yeah,
at all.
Very emphatic,
and he's been there ever since. So,
I guess Uso, I guess Jay getting a rematch makes I mean, listen, Jay's kind of out of that picture. I mean, I guess it makes sense that he'd be hovering around as a contender. It is the same title that he had just a few PLEs back.
Right.
Punk makes sense, obviously, because Punk, in theory, should deserve a rematch. But why wouldn't Gunther deserve anything here?
Yeah. Where is Gunther? That's
where's the guy who literally was taking GTS after GTS in that match?
Yeah, I mean, and mind you, and Gunther said this during the build up to that match. The only thing he knows as far as his WWE career is being a champion or a championship contender. So the fact that he's not even in this orbit, it is a little weird.
Doesn't it feel like the match that would have made sense in theory for a rematch would have been a triple threat CM Punk, Gunther, Seth Rollins?
Yes, it does.
That's kind of, that to me would have been the more logical. Here we are. Instead, we have no Gunther and LA Knight. I sort of feel like LA Knight, that story should have come around after the Gunther thing was kind of wrapped up. Now LA Knight shows up and is like, well, what about me?
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, though, I think you are right that Jey Uso does feel like the weird one here, because the way things played out, like you said, Seth faked an injury to duck LA Knight and then goes right into a championship. Why would LA Knight be done with him? Why would LA Knight just walk away from that? So LA Knight being here actually is not that surprising. But yeah, it's going to be a great match, I think.
And I got to ask you, and we're running up against it, so we'll get into it in hour 2. I'm curious about how you feel about Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, because it is interesting. Bronson Reed is a big star. He's on the rise, but it is a different time for Roman Reigns. Opening up
it is.
With tag matches against Bronson Reed. But before we talk Roman and Bronson Reed, can you just remind me to get back to the little tidbit I saw about the anniversary of Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels? Actually, you know what? Why don't we just do that right now?
You can start there.
Why don't we start there? And because SGG is not going to forget about Roman, and then we'll go right to Roman. I always was amused by the way Shawn Michaels bumped for Hogan in that SummerSlam match. I had never read, and this was just a thing that popped up on social media. So this could either be like a well-known thing that I'm just late to hearing about, or it could be complete internet nonsense that I'm just falling for. But it did make sense when I read it, and then I was rewatching the highlights. Have you guys ever heard that Hogan refused to lose? They wanted to have another match afterwards, and Hogan refused to lose either of the matches. So Shawn was like, all right, and they did the matches, and so that's why Shawn oversold everything like a complete lunatic the entire match?
Yes. Yes, I've heard
You've heard that? You've heard that, SGJ?
Shawn was supposed to win originally, and then it was like, okay, well, Hogan's doesn't want to lose. So they were going to, we'll do a trilogy. The Big Four will start SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Mania, like take it out down the road. Hogan's like, nah, I'm
not going to work for me, brother.
Do that either.
Not going to work
so
for
Sean
me,
was
brother.
just like, all right, well, usually he can out-politic whoever it is. So he figured I'm not going to out-politic Hogan on this one, so we're just going to go and
make a fool
of it. A fool. Yeah.
Dip, you know the bumping we're talking about, right?
Oh, my God, of course. It's classic bumping. It's the craziest bumping ever.
And do you know what's the funniest thing about it is that I remember when it happened, that's when I was just getting back into WWE. I remember us airing the commercial for SummerSlam. I'm just remembering this now. On my local radio station, WJFK, the station for which if I never worked on it, I never would have gotten back into wrestling. But we started giving away tickets, and this dude, Joe Palkowski, was doing promo, and they invited me to a show, and they gave me Taz and Cole as guests, and I was like back in because of this. We were running this one commercial where I always thought it was so funny because it like sounded so typically Hogan, that it's Hogan talking to Shawn, and he goes, "If you wanted a match with me, all you had to do was ask." And like we aired this commercial nonstop because for SummerSlam. And
that's also what he said to Andre, by the way.
By the way, it is true. That's all Hogan thinks. Because a lot of good guys decided they had enough of Hogan's nonsense.
It's so funny when I met him in the bathroom.
Exactly.
When I met him in the bathroom at the Andre the Giant premiere, he said the same thing to me too.
Is that true?
Yeah. We were washing our hands. We were washing our hands together, and I said, "Oh, Mr. Hogan, I've never met you before. I'm a huge wrestling fan." He goes, "If you want a match with me, Diperstein, all you have to do is that."
And Dip was like, "I don't want to match with you, Hulkster." No.
Do you mind grabbing a paper towel?
Paper towel?
Because you're right there. Thanks.
If you wanted a paper towel, Diperstein, all you had to do is ask. But it's funny. So me as a complete, novice smart mark back in 2005-06, when I saw that match, and I'm making up what it is to be a smart fan at the time. They didn't have, for the record, there were not coaches into smart fandom in the early aughts.
What do you mean?
Like now, if you decide you want to get really into wrestling and you want to have like a better understanding of it and go a level deeper than just watching on TV, there's literally a channel that airs 24/7 on Sirius. It's called Sirius XM Channel 156, Pro Wrestling Nation, 24/7.
It's great. I'm listening all the time.
And you can listen and like learn, mostly factual things. But like when you were a kid in the early 2000s, I'm not a kid, I was 25 years old, whatever, trying to figure it out. I'm just like, I'm going to watch, I'm going to read books, and I'm going to learn. So I watch Shawn Michaels selling for Hogan. And my interpretation at that time, 20 years ago, was, wow, that's a lot of respect for Hulk Hogan. He just, he respects Hogan so much that he's bumping. The guy, Shawn Michaels, sold the leg drop. No one sells the leg drop. They just eat it and get pinned. Shawn flails into the air like my daughter does when I wake her up. Like he flails his whole body up in the air. Like he just kept selling and selling. It is so. I never knew that it was actually definitively that, supposedly.
I wish we still lived in a world where, we thought that was still the case. I don't like the world we're living in now. This is not the world. I want to be living on Blockbuster and Raja.com. These are the only things so.
Raja's been around that long, huh? Since the very beginning.
Yeah. And we're giving them a huge plug right now. But I got to tell you, it's still clean.
They deserve it, though.
It's still clean. I mean, it's
an aggregator. It's not even a real website. It's just an aggregator of news stories.
Well, it used to be like really the best, in my opinion, the best one. I still look at it. I'm still on it every single day.
It's the one I go to, but it mostly, I'm saying, is just they mostly take stories and then will credit where it's from, but just print story. It's just like a wire for wrestling, basically.
But now that these websites have become that, but back in the day they were actually like writing stories a little bit more so than they do now. Shout out to Raja though. I'm a Raja and SE Scoops guy. Those are the two.
That's where you go.
That's where I'm going.
SGG, what's your?
Yeah, Raja. Strictly
Really?
Rajah.
Wow. Really?
Not an SC Scoops guy?
SC Scoops is good.
Nah.
I mean, they're all printing crazy things now at this point, but I
That's
but
different.
at the end
That's the time we live in.
That's the time we live in. But they're the two best, I think. I don't know.
All right,
Before we
SGG.
get too far away from it, though, I do want to say I could see why you would think it was great respect for Hulk Hogan, because it did have like a Kurt Hennig kind of feel to it, like the way he bumped and moved around.
In fact, that's a great call, because I think Hennig did that same bump
From
on the rope. Yeah, the turnbuckle bump. We've seen Hennig do that, and I don't imagine Hennig was mocking whoever he was doing it with at the time. Warrior or whoever. Oh, maybe he was. Anyways, SGG. So I got to ask you, SGG. Your GOAT. Table 1, seat 1, fingers up, the whole 9. Roman Reigns now has opened SummerSlam in a tag match. And now he'll go to Clash and have a match with Bronson Reed. Obviously, Bronson Reed is on the rise. That is a meaningful matchup for Bronson Reed, certainly. But I'm curious to ask you, as a huge Roman fan, do you feel any way that at this moment it feels like the matches he's getting are not of the ilk we were used to them being for like 5 years straight?
No, not at all. Like that's so far from my concern, right? Because the matches we're getting are matches that we're getting. For me to be a Roman fan,
that was deep.
He needs
I may not even
TV,
figure
right?
that out.
He needs to be on TV. If he's not on TV, I don't need him to be in the main event every time. I don't need him to be
Fair
champion the whole time. But he's on TV, and his storylines mean something. And you remember my other GOAT, Brett. There was a time everybody always thinks of Brett as champion, main event contender, but he was wrestling Hakushi. He was having Kiss My Feet match with Jerry the King. He had a feud over his stolen leather jacket. That was the matches we were getting. But he was still on TV, and he was still my guy, and I still enjoyed it. And that's where we are with Roman, who's also being robbed. And I will say this though too, like he don't have a crew anymore. You remember when Kurt Angle shot the Big Show with that tranquilizer gun?
Of course.
I feel like Roman needs one of these if he's going to keep showing up to Raw. He needs to either walk out barefoot like his father and his uncle, or pop out with the tranquilizer gun. But he cannot keep coming out with new sneakers for Bronson Reed, because that's what they have become at this point.
It's a shoe store. Yeah.
I think that I looking bigger picture though, I think Roman Reigns, even though we only see him now once in a while, he doesn't need a new identity, but he needs to speak. Yeah,
I was thinking that too.
It just feels like he's a guy.
The pop out. It's a lot of pop outs.
He's just a guy that's he's just a guy that's saving people. And that's really all he's been doing for it feels like forever. I don't even know how long it's been, maybe a few weeks. But he's just a guy now that feels like he's saving people. He's a baby face that saves people he likes. I like that guy. I'm going to go save him. That's really all I'm seeing from him. Yeah. He's like a 911 guy.
Yeah. You know? Break in case of emergency.
Yes. And so in the next, up until whatever the next big
It has to be after this. It has to be the Bronson Reed match, and now we get a real story. Although, to the point SGG sort of alluded to, it is challenging to figure out where to go with Roman Reigns if he's not on TV. You got to, be on TV consistently to have a story. Because to SGG's point, how can he show up for a couple weeks and instantly have the biggest match every time? If they don't have the dates, you may not be able to have him in the tippy top stuff. It's just a tough place to be.
I guess. I mean, or you could look at it the other way, where you have, he's like just an attraction that, like a Hogan that was back in the day, where he's always going to be in the top spot no matter what and whatever. And maybe he should be there. I don't know. But anyway, I'm hoping.
But wrestling's different now, though, Dip, because everyone has matches all the time. It's just not the same thing. So I just don't know if you can do it.
And that is exactly what tanked Charlotte's career. Like, she's recovering now, huge baby face. Shout out to that Players Tribune article. But that idea that I'm going to come back and go right into the championship spot, maybe win the championship, be champion, and then when I lose it, I leave. That cycle is the kiss of death. He can't be doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't work as a babyface. Let's not forget, guys, and I say this lovingly, with peace and love, because I am you, and you are him, slim with a tilted brim. Wrestling is the most beloved snowflakey fan base in the world. They are not going to feel good about someone just getting to show up while everyone's working hard, and now you get to be the man or woman, and then you roll out. That is not fair. That is not equitable, and that is not how wrestling fans get down. So it could work as a heel, but as a babyface who everyone's rooting for, that doesn't really feel like where the fan base is right now. Let's give out the phone number. We'd love to get you guys on board here in hour 2. 877-344-4893. Don't be shy. If we've never heard from you on Cheap Heat Live before, get on the line. Say what's up to us. All of these different things on the table. Expectations for Clash in Paris. What you think about the ESPN deal of it all. I'm not going to lie. I've not seen Dynamite yet this week. Dip, have you?
Not yet. I saw some clips, but I haven't seen the full show.
These weeks go fast.
Believe it or not, I did watch this week.
Whoa! Do you have a Zach? Zach, I don't know if you have an alarm or like news breaker sounder over there, but if you do, just hit it any time. SGG was in on Dynamite this week. Please give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I feel so. This is the big one, right? Because you guys didn't watch, so I'm not going to spoil too much for you. But there was an MJF promo.
I saw that.
Mark Briscoe's looking for him backstage. He holds him hostage, and he threatens to set him on fire. And I did
see that moving around.
I feel like I would have liked if he did at least drop the match and pretend to set him on fire, or like have the screen go black and have it like, did he do it? Did he not do it? Because it was too straightforward. Like, I got what I wanted, and I'm out. I feel like to raise the factor on him being dastardly, just like light the match, you see flames, but then Mark's all right. He didn't actually do it.
So you were disappointed that Mark Briscoe was not actually set on fire? Is that what you're saying, SG?
Or like that there was no fire. He teased
how about
fire,
this?
like burn something.
But let me ask you this. By the way, when is Forbidden Door?
This Sunday, I believe, on the 24th.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door. I feel like we feel like we're ready for MJF Hangman? Like, does it feel like that we've – I mean, I'm sure it's just the first installment, which is very clear because I did see that MJF said he demanded this not count as his contract. So to me, that says he's losing this one, but he still has another one in the stash.
I think he should win it. That's the ultimate insurance policy, right? Is that he wins it, he is the champion, and if someone is able to take the title off of him while he still has that contract, get back in the ring. We're gonna do it again right now. I want my title back. And then he wins it again.
All right. Anything else? Any other big takeaways here? Like, give us some Tony Storm, Mercedes. What else going on? SUG.
Luchasaurus didn't feel that threatening to me when he came out. I mean,
Dip. Cover your ears.
Shout out to Edge and Christian. They're back. People want to see them in that tag team title match. I thought Nick Wayne was going to pull a Seth Rollins and he was going to throw down his crutches. We might still get that on Sunday, but Luchasaurus as the replacement team with Kip Sabian, I was just like, okay.
I know. I've moved on. I've moved on from Luchasaurus to Mr. Iguana. Okay.
Oh well, guess what? We got to take a break because Dip has a scorching hot Mr. Iguana take we got to get to. SGG, I'm going to try to find a sponsor for the SGG Dynamite recap of the week. I'm so in that you just did that. I know. If there's a sponsor,
we can get it twice a week.
I'm going to call KFC. I'm going to call churches. By the way, if
Wingstop is taken, shout out to Dom. But
by the way, if you are new to our show, this is not a racist joke. Okay, SGG just loves delicious chicken. It's part of his gimmick.
I challenge you to find me the person who does not love delicious chicken. This is gimmick is for us all.
That's right.
I was just brave enough to say it.
Now, real quick, your favorite. What is your favorite number one chicken establishment?
I tell you what I do not like. Chick-fil-A actually is up there, so I'm gonna have to give it to Chick-fil-A.
Really, Chick-fil-A is your number?
Very out of good all the places, Chick-fil-A.
Very good chicken. Bojangles is really good too.
I've never
had Wingstop. Wingstop is hit or miss. Popeyes is a staple. I grew up on Popeyes and KFC.
Now,
Raising Cane's is out. No, Raising Cane's is out.
You're not in.
No. They sell goods. They need to sell the sauce. They can maybe even get away with just being like a buttered bread spot.
A buttered bread
chicken?
spot. Hey, Dip. I have a
the
business
chicken
proposition.
is out.
Dip, I have a business proposition. What do you think that I have a great idea? I want to open a buttered bread restaurant.
Yeah, Raising
by the way,
great for the buttered bread.
You never
The
know.
chicken's out.
By the way,
You
you
never
do never
know.
know. It sounds insane, but if we were to like go to LA and we open a place called like Butter, and they're like, well, what's the thing here? And it's like, you got to get the buttered bread. Everyone gets the buttered bread. What happens when you sit down? They bring you this buttered bread. It's out of this world.
Hailey Bieber loves the buttered bread. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, Haley is there all the time. Kendall Jenner. Yeah, they love the butter. You got to get the buttered bread.
Yeah.
I am heading off to Paris on Sunday. I'm working on getting us to. The wife has expressed she would love to go to Disney Paris with the baby on her birthday. Natalie's birthday is the day before the Clash. So I'm going to attempt to do Disney Paris. We'll see how that goes. And then we'll do Clash. And then you come back, and guess what? School's back, kids. Labor Day's over. We have football. It's all happening. WrestlePalooza, like we have every year. What just happened?
Greg
Bear just tried to do the
History
stairs.
Like you have every year.
What was that?
Greg History Week.
Oh,
like
Greg.
we do every year.
By the way, I got to say, SGG. I'm going to throw this out here right now.
Okay.
We got to do some sort of like dinner for you in New York at some point. Like, we do have a dinner.
I might have to go to Indianapolis too, like because Greg History Week could be 6 days, it could be 14 days. It's like
right. That's only 9 days.
Week.
I wonder if we could convince Dip to make the trip to Indianapolis. What do you think, Dip?
I would love to do it. I would love to come. I don't know though if I can. I gotta.
I can get us a late table at St. Elmo's. I think their last reservation's like 10:45 Saturday night. A little steak dinner after. Hopefully the post show's done. I mean, these days without the press conference, I think the post show would be done on time.
That's your second shot. You took one shot at them in the first shot. We cannot.
I didn't say without that schlocky press conference.
We'll each get one shrimp.
No, SGG gets two. It's his 40th.
You can split mine.
Oh no, you can't have them.
I'm not flying to Indianapolis just for one shrimp. Okay.
Yeah, but listen, SGG can't eat it, so you get two. Think about that.
Well, what about you?
I'll have two.
We'll each have a shrimp. We'll each have two shrimp.
Now, it's not going to be like Diperstein. Now, I'll tell you one thing, though, SGG. The sad truth is your 40th birthday is going to pale to Dip's 38th.
Oh, nice.
Which,
of course.
Oh, my 38th. Yeah.
It was your 38th.
Yeah.
I don't think your 39th is top. I think actually you'd be.
I'm not doing a 39th.
I'm about to say you'd be. I'm about to say that would be almost embarrassing if you tried, because 38 you did enough for 38. Enough, dude. Like
all right,
the man.
Don't yell at me.
I
don't. Let's not go into that party. Let's not go.
I got the invite, but I'm mad I didn't show up just to get one of the napkins.
Oh, that's
one of the napkins.
The napkins were Mage. The appearances were Mage. It was unbelievable. All right, let's talk to the people, and we'll also talk some tiers of Mage, guys. Whatever topics you want, including who is your top tier, your tier 1 of Mage. Dip's top tier is he made this. Wait, hold on.
No. That's no.
Oh, that's your mom.
That's my mother's tiers of.
Yes, Dip's mother sent her tiers of Mage. We'll get to that in a moment. But Dip, your top tier again. Tier 1 for you. Hogan,
Flair, Austin, Cena. I think there's no question that's the top tier. Sorry.
SGG,
if we're keeping it to 4, that's my top tier.
And SGG, your number 1 tier?
Not keeping it to 4. Brett, Roman, Shawn, Austin, Rock.
And can you at this point though? Can't we do like the Hogan is omitted on account of you don't like him?
Well, no, because I don't like him. But also, he really is just popular. But it's just like he was just very popular. But the things that I like about the other people, you can't say that about Hogan. And they were also popular. He was more popular than they were. But the things that I like about them, you can't say about Hogan and Flair for that matter. Also, Flair is a great wrestler, but he doesn't make my tier 1 because, especially his older stuff, to me, it's kind of the same match over and over with different opponents. Great matches, but when it becomes like a plug and play thing versus an experience, you gotta take points away from that.
SGG is really being loose with the word mage. That's the main thing. It's like how we define mage
is all over the place.
I'm following Dip's lead of like the biggest, right? And I still kind of argue on Cena. I really do. Like I wonder.
So if it's just the biggest, then Cena's there.
But hear me out. In 20 years, will John Cena's wrestling career, will we feel like it made the sort of crossover mainstream impact that Macho Man's did?
If people still doing the invisible Cena joke, yeah, which they are right now, right? If you mention John Cena,
everyone's doing it.
Everybody knows that you can't see John Cena.
People know it the way
know.
They know it the way you know. Ooh, yeah. I'm saying they don't.
I think they do.
I'm saying they do.
I think they do. I love Macho Man. He's on tier 2 for me, but I'm just saying he's tier 2 of Mage. I'm just telling you, Cena is a generational mega talent in wrestling and deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore. Deserves tier 1 of Mage. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I think you're wrong. I just think you're wrong. I just don't think it made the impact. I think we're so close to it. We are so close to that business right now. I just don't know that if in reality people who do not pay attention at all have an idea of who he is the way they did of Macho Man in 1988. To me, it's a fascinating debate. I'm not saying
the
you're
guy
like
who ran
ridiculous.
On stage at the Oscars, and then got the invisible Cena joke when he was naked.
What?
People know Cena.
Well, Cena was nude at the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
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 Come on.
I'm not saying
I know,
Oscars,
but I don't.
The argument is that he carried the torch for a generation of wrestling fans and was the top guy in wrestling for an entire generation of fans. That is sort of how I view those pillars.
That's why I said that your tiers are sort of based on who you were told the tiers. These are the guys who we say are the main guys.
I'll push back on Dip's take about Cena just a little bit, though. He said he carried the torch for a generation. I would say it was 2 generations because Cena was on top so long that in terms of years, he passes Hogan twice over. He passes Austin multiple times over.
Multiple times.
So it's not a generation. It's generations.
Oh, this is a big deal. SGG, we have Diperstein's mom on the line. Mary Diperstein.
Oh, God.
Hi, Mary.
That's exactly
Hi,
how he started.
Peter. Hi, Greg.
How are you?
Hi, Bri.
Hi.
I'm good. How
Hi.
are you guys? I love your show, and I have everyone I know listening to it, so it's great.
You're our only promotional entity that we have, so we appreciate you. Now, Mary, why, out of the blue, you decided after listening to the show last week, to send your sweet little Bri guy your top tiers of Mage in wrestling?
Absolutely. It just gave me, like, I was watching TV and it gave me something to do, and I said, I'm going to think about who I really loved all these years growing up with Brian and who he loved, and so I made my own little tiers of Mage. Yes.
And by the way, Brian is Dip to anyone listening. So you're
sorry, Dip.
No, your tier 1 is a mix of sort of me and Diperstein's interests. It's Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior,
of course.
Yes,
The Rock,
of course, I had to. Yes.
And Macho Man, which I really respect.
Yeah.
Yes, these are like 4 of Brian's favorites, you know, the little outfits and the costumes and the whole situation growing up. These are people that just, like, you know, had an influence over my household. So, and I want to go to the Cena thing because I was listening to you. My generation, when I think of Cena, I know you guys love him and he's a great wrestler, but when I think of him, I barely even think of wrestling. He's in so many different things, from movies to sportscasting and on the Today Show and hosting. I just don't even. I don't feel like in 10 years he will have that same. Oh, he's a fantastic wrestler. Just like when you think of Macho Man, and
that is actually, Mary. That's a very. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a surprisingly profound point. The phone lines don't normally provide things this profound, but when you think about it, it's true because you could say, you can make the argument that, like, oh, well, that makes him even bigger because he can transcend so much. But I could also argue that we're talking about wrestling. And if wrestling just is kind of one of the many things that you did, that is sort of different versus a Macho Man, for example, where not only was he incredibly famous and known, but he was only known as a wrestler.
That's right. Interesting. Exactly. Absolutely. And so I know The Rock, it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense because I put The Rock in there, and because he had shows and does movies, and he's probably more famous for that. But to me, he isn't. To me, The Rock is the wrestling Rock that Brian grew up with. So, and we met in person back in the day when he was, 7 years old or something.
Now,
so,
who did you, Mary, on that time when you guys went to a show in Philly, and you walked by a suite or whatever, and you got the opportunity to meet a bunch of the boys? Who was there that night? Do you remember who you met?
Oh my God, I don't. I know we met. Did we meet Macho Man for sure? The Rock.
No. We met Razor.
Was that Atlantic City? Was that Atlantic City?
No, that was 1991. Remember we were in the Spectrum, and Sharon got the box, and
Sharon got our box. Yes.
Got the box, and we saw Razor and Diesel and Owen Hart.
Oh yeah, and Owen. Yes, Owen. Mm-hmm. Yes. I do. You have a much better memory than me, of course, because we met a lot of them too in Atlantic City when we went for signings and.
We saw the Ultimate Warrior in 1991. I was 4 years old. She took me to see Ultimate Warrior, Miss Elizabeth, and Macho Man in Atlantic City. Oh yeah, I'll never forget that.
Wow.
My mother, this woman, Mary Diperstein, who's on the line right now, walked over to Razor Ramon and Diesel in 1995 at a house show at the Spectrum in Philly and said, you have to come meet my son. And it was at that moment the greatest night of my life, probably.
Oh my God. I can remember going out for dinner. I mean, not that long ago, but with my girlfriends, we went to Bobo in New York. I don't even know if it's there anymore. And we were sitting at
Bobo's
the table.
There, I think Bobo's. Yeah.
Vince McMahon, his wife, his son, I can't think of his name for the minute,
Shane,
and his wife sitting at a table. Shane, we're sitting at a table, and my heart started palpitating. I was flipped out. I was actually crying because it was so monumental that I'm actually seeing these people, and my son worships them. And I went over to the table and I introduced myself and just said, that my family's the biggest fans and my son and blah blah blah. It was crazy. My girlfriend
still
talks about
that. Wow. And
anything for Brian.
Wow, that is amazing. And I do have bad news. Bobo is temporarily closed. Mary, you were amazing. Thank you for sharing your top tier of Mage. We'll dive into 2 and 3 another time, but this was wonderful.
Oh, you got it. You guys are great.
I definitely want to talk about tier 2.
Bye,
Stay
Mary.
Mage, guys.
All right.
Stay Mage.
Enjoy yourself.
Love you.
I mean, Dip, how does it feel to have a mother who supports you more than my parents have supported me in anything? Your mom listens to your fakakta appearances on the radio on Talking Wrestling. My parents, if I'm hosting something on television, they text me at the end and go, "Wait, did it happen yet?" Wow, what a call from Mary Diperstein. She brought it.
She really did bring it. She was nervous too, and I'll tell you, she crushed. She knows her wrestling.
We love you guys. Stay Mage. Join us in the Discord. Send your emails, of course, as well to rosenbergwrestling@gmail.com. And then SGG, enjoy yourself.
Take it easy, fellas.